Avocado farming secrets for 60% yield increase and 35% cost-cutting. Secret number 3. Precision irrigation management. That is the critical daily decision. Understanding avocado water retentions and root rot dynamics. The most critical daily management decision throughout an avocado orchard's productive life is irrigation management, because avocados simultaneously require abundant, consistent moisture of between 8,000 to 12,000 cubic meters per hectare annually in most climates, among the highest of tree crops, yet cannot tolerate any waterlogging or prolonged saturation, making them extremely damaging. And because improper irrigation either creates water stress, reduction yields between 30 to 60% through small fruit drop, and alternate bearing, or creates phytophthora root rot through waterlogging, destroying root systems and killing trees. Walking the narrow line between these two disasters determines success or failure. Yet between 60 to 70% of avocado farmers either under-irrigate, causing chronic stress, or over-irrigate, promoting root rot and diseases. Understanding avocado hydrology therefore transforms management. Avocados possess shallow root systems with between 80 to 90% of feeder roots in the top 60 centimeters of soil, unlike deep-rooted crop trees. They have extremely low root density per soil volume. Avocado roots are thick, coarse, and branched with minimal root hairs, creating low surface area for water uptake, therefore requiring frequent irrigation. Transpire heavily through large leaves, especially during fruit development. Mature bearing trees can use between 100 to 150 liters per tree daily during peak summer. Show rapid stress symptoms when water deficient, leaf wilt, fruit drop, and stem dieback, and die rapidly when waterlogged. Between 24 to 48 hours of saturation or saturated soil creates anaerobic conditions, suffocating roots and activating phytophthora juice spores that swim to roots and cause infections. The economic implications of irrigation management are profound. Proper irrigation, maintaining optimal soil moisture, typically between 40 to 60% of available water capacity, moist but not saturated, produces between 15 to 22 tons per hectare of quality fruits, while under irrigation, reducing availability or available moisture below 30% reduces yields to between 8 to 12 tons through stress. That is between $12,000 to $20,000 annual loss, and over irrigation causing periodic saturation above 80%. Available water or waterlogged creates root rot, destroying between 10 to 20% of trees annually. That one is between $15,000 to $30,000 loss from dead and declining trees. Yet the difference between optimal and problematic irrigation is often just between 10 to 20% more or less water. Precision matters enormously. Additionally, irrigation represents between 15 to 30% of direct production costs. That is between $2,000 to $4,000 per hectare annually for water and energy in many regions. making efficiency improvements through precision management, reducing water use by between 25 to 40%, while maintaining or improving production worth of between $500 to $1,500 per hectare annually. Implementing precision irrigation system. Let's look at drip irrigation. Drip irrigation represents the optimal delivery system for avocados. Install between 1 to 2 drip lines per tree row, spacing emitters between 40 to 60 centimeters apart, creating wetted drips along rows. Using pressure compensating emitters, that is between 2 to 4 liters per hour for flow rate, ensuring uniform delivery across slopes and long laterals, filtering water adequately, preventing emitter clogging, and installing automation, that is timers, controllers, or fertigation systems, enabling precise scheduling. Initial investments of about $2,500 to $5,000 per hectare, depending on water source distance, pressure requirements, and automation level. This is recovered within 2 to 4 years through water savings, labor reduction, and improved production compared to less efficient methods. Micro sprinklers provide alternative for sandy soils or where wider wetting patterns are desired, costing between $3,000 to $6,000 per hectare with similar benefits. Avoid flood or furrow irrigation, which creates waterlogging and root rot in avocados. These methods are fundamentally incompatible with avocado biology. Let's look at irrigation scheduling. Irrigation scheduling using soil moisture monitoring provides provision. Install soil moisture sensors like tensometers, capacitance probes, or time domain reflectometry sensors at 20 centimeters and 40 centimeters depth in representative locations throughout orchard. Typically 1 to 3 sensor stations per 5 to 10 acres depending on soil variability. Monitoring soil moisture continuously and irrigating when moisture at 20 centimeter depth drops to approximately between 40 to 50% of available water capacity, typically between 30 to 50 kPa tension or tensometers. Scheduling based on actual soil moisture rather than guessing or fixed calendars ensures optimal moisture, avoiding both stress and excess. Sensor systems cost between $300 to $1,500 per station. On-time investment, but prevent over-irrigation, saving between $500 to $1,000 annually in water and energy, while preventing under-irrigation worth between $3,000 to $6,000 in prevented field loss. For farmers without sensor systems, estimate irrigation requirements using evapotranspiration or ET data available from weather stations or agricultural extension services. Calculating crop water use from ET reference evapotranspiration points times Kc, that is crop coefficient for avocado, between 0.5 to 0.6 for young trees and between 0.65 to 0.75 for mature bearing trees. Varying by season, applying this calculated volume weekly, adjusted for rainfall. Example, ET equals to 6 mm per day. Moisture AVOCADO KC equals to 0.7. Therefore, crop water use equals to 4.7 mm per day, which is equals to 42 cubic meters per hectare per day. And this is equals to 294 cubic meters per hectare per week minus any rainfall. Divide weekly water into 2 to 4 irrigation events rather than one large application. Frequent small applications maintain consistent moisture, ideal for avocados' shallow roots. During fruit development period, spring through harvest, maintain consistent generous irrigation, supporting fruit sizing and oil accumulation. After harvest, during vegetative growth, slight reduction, that is maintaining between 30 to 50% available water rather than 50 to 60%, is acceptable, encouraging moderate shoot growth without excessive vegetative vigor. How about mulching? Mulching for moisture conservation. Apply between 10 to 15 centimeter organic mulch. Can be wood, chips, rice hulls, coffee pearls, or other locally available materials. In between 1.5 to 2 meter diameter, circles around each tree, or continuous strips along rows, replenishing annually, and materials decompose, creating between 15 to 25 centimeter reduction in irrigation requirements while suppressing weeds, moderating soil temperature, adding organic matter, and reducing phytophthora infection risk. Mulch prevents rain splash of infected soil onto trunks. Mulching costs between $300 to $600 per hectare annually for materials and labor, but saves between $400 to $800 in irrigation costs while providing additional benefits. Avocado farming secrets for 60% yield increase and 35% cost-cutting secret. Number 4. Click on the link on the description below to watch this inspiring secret. Thank you.